We made it to part 4. This is the last part of our series looking at the best travel credit cards from all issuers. Hi guys and welcome to the channel. If this is your first time to the channel, we're talking about credit cards, points, finances and travel. If this is something that interests you, please like this video, subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I will get back to you as soon as I can. So we finally made it to Capital One. Capital One in the late year, 2 years, but especially this past year with the Venture X has been showing signs of going towards the travel even more, which is great news for us consumers. We all have our own favorites. I can tell you, I see the comments. Some of you are very passionate about your credit cards, which I don't understand why, but okay, whatever. But the point is that no matter how you see it, it's always good to see more and more companies competing for our money. This is only good for consumers. This is the open market. So Capital One with the venture credit cards already starts showing its teeth to the competitors. The problem with Capital One though was that it didn't have a nice luxury credit card. They solved that issue with the Venture X. As we're gonna see, it's a very, very good card. The problem I saw though with Capital One was it didn't have many co-branded credit cards. Actually, none. Outside the venture, the only other credit cards that collect points are the Spark credit cards, which is like the business equivalents of the venture credit cards. And if you want to make a nice trifecta or duofecta, you need to go to cashback credit cards. And this is what you're going to see here in this presentation. So without any further ado, let's see how Capital One looks and come back to wrap it up. Now, we did have a video comparing the Venture X with all the other venture credit cards. And even though the Venture X is not the highest, doesn't offer the highest return on spend on the first year, on the second year and every year after is the only credit card that really makes sense to keep. So I made the choice to keep the Venture X, even though on the first year the numbers don't look great. As we mentioned at the beginning, it doesn't have any good complementary cards. This is a big gap I see with Capital One. Not only doesn't have the co-branded brands, but it doesn't have complementary cards. With Chase, you have the Freedom cards. With American Express, you have either the Gold, you can have the Business Cash. Citi Premier has the Custom Cash. It has the Double Cash. It has there's a bunch of options that you have. But when it comes to Capital One, not so much. So we see that it's in the early game of Capital One trying to get into the travel market. So the current sign-up bonus is $75,000 after spending $4,000 in 3 months, which in my opinion is kind of improved. The previous sign-up bonus was 100,000 points, but for $10,000 in 6 months. So return on spend wise, this is better. On credits, it has $100 TSA pre-global entry, $300 credit, travel credit every year, and 10,000 points every year anniversary. So basically, every year after the first year, your annual fee of $395 is covered by these two credits. 300 plus 10,000 points, which is equivalent of $100, $400. So they pay you $5 to have this credit card. The memberships, we only have the Hertz President's Circle, lounge access, unlimited visits per year for you and the people traveling with you for all the Capital One lounges and the Priority Pass. And this is important because Capital One has been going cuckoo lately, building lounges around the world, around the country and around the world. And I know for a fact, I mentioned this before, I lived in the Washington, D.C. area where Capital One headquarters are, and I know they're hiring for this kind of positions, designers to build lounges, so like crazy. So I know they're expanding. So the one thing you're gonna notice here, I start color coding things a little bit. So the green will be the value that you're getting from the sign-up bonus, and then the blue is the money you can expect, the cash value you can expect from the spending you do to hit that sign-up bonus. So it makes it a little more clear. The maximum total is $955 and the return on spend 22%. The only other credit card that was a really good complimentary credit card for the Venture X, to be honest, was only the Savor, which is, or Savor, I don't know how you pronounce that, but it's a little disappointing because this is a cashback credit card. At the same time, the Capital One points are close to 1 cent per point. I mean, if you transfer to partners, you might be able to get something extra, but you don't get that option with the Savor credit card. 4x on restaurants, entertainment, streaming, 3x on groceries, 1x on everything else. This is exactly what we were missing from the Venture X, so it's great to have them combined. $300 after spending $3,000 in 3 months is like a 10% by itself. So yeah, after we take out the annual fee and we add all the spending, we see that we get that 10% clean. As we know, what's important is not what happens in the first year, but second year and every year after. So for the second year, we apply our typical budget of $12,000 equally spread between travel, restaurants, gas, and groceries. We assume that we have a normal life. It's not only for travel. So yeah, this is where the credits shine, right? The $300 credit plus 10,000 points, which is $100, so $400. And you get the equivalent of 5% return on spend. The Savor credit card doesn't have any credits. The only thing it offers is decent multipliers, and it gives you a 2% return. And when we see the two cards combined the first year, we see that we need to spend $7,490 in order to get $1,265, and the return on spend on this one is 17% for the pair. And the second year, we need to spend $12,490, well, or more or less, whatever your spending is, for a total return of 405, and the average between the two is 3%, which is pretty decent. To be honest, I feel this is a little unfair. And this is unfair because there's no decent credit card that I could add for a trifecta. This could bring the numbers up or down, but in all the other issuers, I had the chance to add a third credit card regardless. When it comes to the Venture X is the best of all the other Venture credit cards, so it doesn't even make sense to add a third just to add a third. The multipliers, the credits, they all scream that the Venture X is so much better than the other ones. So that's out of the way. Then the Spark are basically the business side of Venture, and they have the same multipliers that the other Venture credit cards, which are worse than the Venture X. So also they don't make sense. They don't have co-branded credit cards. And the only credit cards that offer good returns on groceries and restaurants are the Savor credit cards, and those are basically cashback credit cards. So you don't have the chance to transfer them and possibly get some more. As I did with the other issuers, I am not adding any value to lounge access or memberships because you can... that is something I don't have a real value to add to. So I'd rather just keep them all out. So potentially this 17 and 3% could be more. It could really be more. But yeah, I didn't add it to anything else. I'm not going to add it here. Capital One is going for sure to the right direction. Capital One was something that was not in the map 2 years ago, and all of a sudden they come with these credit cards. They open the lounges and they make clear where they're going. And this is probably, at least companies like Capital One that I'm aware of, are the ones pushing American Express to increase the sign-up bonus, to increase the benefits, which is great. Great competition is great for everyone. Would I get those credit cards? I wouldn't get the Savor, honestly. I get these kind of returns and better returns with my gold, my Amex gold. But the Venture X, it's a no-brainer. The Venture X is a no-brainer. If you don't have any credit card that offers you lounge access and gives you TSA pre, then the Venture X is really a no-brainer. Unless you're tied in a different ecosystem, which I completely understand, then you should absolutely get the Venture X. It makes sense. We're gonna follow up with a final video, and that final video will be a wrap up of all these videos and conclusions. So let me know what you think. How do you like Capital One? If you have any suggestions that we could improve what I just showed you. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, ciao.